Hello, my name is Davina Morris, and today I would like to talk to you about food. First, I'm going to share some common food stories. When we go to the grocery store and we're reaching for a carton of milk, we usually reach for the carton that has the expiration date that's furthest away. Or it's also common for us to have frozen meat in our refrigerator, and we don't know what type of meat it is or what date we froze it. The last common story is yogurt in our refrigerator. Usually we eat the contents and we don't know until later that the expiration date was a week ago. So food labeling is full of misconceptions and misinformation. Today I would like to inform you about some of the food labeling information and how long food stays fresh. Let's begin with perishable food items. It's common for us to see these different types of labeling. Best if used by, expiration, sell by, and pull by, and guaranteed fresh. Let's decipher some of this information. Best if used by stays fresh and tastes fresh until that date. Used by and expiration food are only good until those dates. Those labelings are similar and that they're only good until that date and need to be thrown out after. Sell by and pull by is in-house information for the stores and lets them know when they need to pull any items from their shelves. If you go home and find any of the food that you have labeled with sell by or pull by, they're usually good for 1 week after that date. Guaranteed fresh, that's used for baked items, and for optimal freshness, they're only good until that date. The Food and Drug Administration regulates packaged food, but only requires expiration dates on infant formula. Let's talk a little bit about how long food can sit out before it goes bad. Food can sit out for 2 hours. After that, the temperature in the food rises and the warmth causes bacteria to grow. There's a danger zone for food that's left out. Between 140 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit is where the food can only sit for 2 hours. If it is left out any longer than that danger zone time, the bacteria will start growing every 20 minutes. Improper cooling accounts for 30% of all foodborne illnesses. And the Center for Disease Control annual rates for foodborne illnesses are 76 million illnesses, 323,000 hospital visits, and 5,000 deaths. Let's talk a little bit about how long raw food has until it goes bad. Raw meat, it all depends on the type of meat that you're freezing. At the store, the raw meat is kept at 30 degrees Fahrenheit. When we get home, most of our refrigerators are set at 40 degrees Fahrenheit because at any lower temperature, the other food inside our refrigerator will begin to freeze. As a result, any food that you bring home from the store can only last in your refrigerator for 1 to 2 days. The Agricultural Department regulates fresh produce and meat, but only requires labeling on poultry when it's packaged at the farm. Next is eggs. Let's talk about eggs. Eggs have a long life in your refrigerator. After their sell-by date, they have 5 weeks. Closer to the 5 weeks, the eggs will not be as fluffy. Milk is another tricky item. Milk deteriorates in quality quickly. If it's exposed to too much light, it'll have an unpleasant taste. This is why milk is commonly in opaque plastic or paperboard. So pasteurized milk has 2 to 5 days after its sell-by date. That is, if the temperature is kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Cheese is an easy one. Cheese has 3 to 4 days for any soft cheese after purchase, and any hard cheese after purchase is good for 3 weeks and can be frozen for up to 6 months. Yogurt and creams are good for 7 to 10 days after their sell-by date. Another easy one is fruits and vegetables. They're good for 1 week after purchase for their optimal freshness. And there are a few exceptions. Carrots are one exception. Another couple of exceptions are onions and potatoes. Onions and potatoes need to be stored in a cool, dry place, but they need to be stored separately because they can cause each other to spoil. But any growth on your potatoes, and they need to be thrown out. Let's talk about how long meat can stay in your freezer. It really depends on the type of meat that you're freezing. According to an article in Business Week, ground beef lasts for 3 3 months in your freezer because it has more surface area to grow bacteria. Beef, lamb, veal, and venison can last 8 to 12 months in your freezer. Pork can last for 6 months, and fish can last the longest at 1 to 2 years. After talking about freezing, let's talk a little bit about defrosting. There are a lot of misconceptions about defrosting meat. Never defrost meat in hot water, and never defrost meat at room temperature or on the counter. The best way to defrost meat is in cold water that needs to be changed every 30 minutes. The refrigerator is actually the best way to defrost meat, but it takes a couple days planning. If you're a planner, then it's the best for you to take out meat for a couple days in advance so that it doesn't grow any bacteria. You can also defrost meat by microwaving it as long as you have a microwave with a turntable. You can also cook meat frozen, but it takes 1.5 times longer to cook. These are some common misconceptions and food labelings that we see, and I hope that you got some good information. Thank you.